What's up, guys? Justin Morgan here, Carved Up Vegan Muscle, and as you can tell from the title, I am recovering from an injury. I didn't really say anything. It wasn't a huge injury, but when I posted the video of the John Paul Sigmarsson deadlift that I did with the I think it's 535 pounds. That was fine. That was a good deadlift. Nothing was wrong with that. But then we followed it up. We went up to the next weight was 625 pounds. And some of the shorter guys there had been kind of rolling the weight back and hitching it up onto their hips, and then using that stance to kind of stand up with the deadlift. So, naturally I thought, well, that's working for them. I should give that a shot and see how I do with it. And, I'm between 4 and 6 inches taller than most of the other guys that I train with and that are there at the gym. I'm around a little over 6 foot, and they're, in that like kind of 5'6" to 5'8" type range. And, being that my knees are set up a lot higher than theirs because of my height, it just made that an impossible task for me. But I went ahead and tried it multiple times, and then I walked away with a lower back injury. So I ended up having to get an MRI, and everything came back great. My spine looks good. Everything's fine. I just had some soft tissue damage, but the doctor that I'd seen suspected that I might have a bulging or herniated disc or something like that. So what you guys are watching is me after a week or so of laying on my couch, icing, and just generally being in pain. So I had to get my range of motion back, which was really difficult. The very first clip you saw there was my very first time squatting or doing anything in almost exactly a week. So I was, really tight. It was really hard for me to get into a good position. It was hard for my body to get into the position that I generally get into when squatting. So here I'm only doing the, the traditional like high bar, upright torso to minimize the amount of stress that's on my lower back, because I actually am still in quite a bit of pain from the injury. So I don't think I'm really doing any damage to it. My doctor said I was fine to, just do general activity as long as, I felt good to do it. So I'm kind of cleared in that sense. I'm not doing any damage, but it is, it's still pretty painful to put too much stress on my lower back in general. So I'm just kind of going down, doing a lot of pause squats. I was doing sets of 20 here for the first day, and then that side-by-side clip that you watched a second ago was the second day. My wife was doing some lifting, so I just thought I'll do whatever weight she does, and I'll just try to do that. And as a result, I did actually end up in some pain, even though it was, pretty lightweight. But so then yesterday I didn't really do anything at all. So this is Saturday with the weight, and then that is Friday where I'm just doing the bar. And mostly I'm just trying to stretch myself out. The squat, in my opinion, is an excellent way to stretch your body out, to stretch your legs, all those ligaments, tendons, to stay in a pretty mobile position. I think the squat works extremely well for that. And that's just kind of what I'm doing here. Probably not really stimulating any actual muscle growth or neurological adaptations, or really, doing anything that'll make me particularly a better power lifter. But I have to start somewhere, and I'm probably not going to, on my first day back from an injury, open up at 400 or 500 pounds. So starting with the bar, gradually adding weight, just seems like a good idea. So tonight, I'll be coaching a class that I do at the YMCA for people that are interested in weightlifting and powerlifting. And I will probably try to squat with them. So some of the guys there, that sexy pair of legs you just saw go past there was my wife, Anita. But some of the guys in my class are squatting in the mid to upper 300s. So I'm going to tonight give that a shot and just do pause squats with them. If it's kind of painful to pause there, maybe I'll just try doing a regular squat. But, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I, feel pretty good and nothing too bad is happening. So that's really about it. I've been watching a powerlifter named Garrett Blevins, and he does a follow-up on, whatever scriptures he's been reading, so I'm going to start doing that occasionally on some of my training videos. So this scripture is from Judges chapter 16, verse 20. It is about Samuel, the strong man. It says, "But he did not know that the Lord had departed from him." And that is a sad affair. I think that sometimes as Christians, it's easy for us to I can only really speak for myself, but it's easy to get caught up in things and not recognize that our concerns are not God's concerns. I see people all the time freaking out on Facebook and having these conversations with people, and they're so hateful, and they don't have any of the love and things that the Scripture says that we really should. So I kind of think that that person probably falls into this category. They could easily probably be said, but he did not know that the Lord had departed from them, and they're so caught up with self-rightness that they are not so concerned with righteousness or the righteousness of the Lord. And I want to make sure that, at least for my part and what I do, that I don't fall into that. So this part scripture was actually being spoken of Samson, the strong man from the Old Testament. He had been consecrated from his birth as a Nazirite unto the Lord, so that he would rule and judge the nation of Israel. And aside from keeping normal laws, he was not supposed to touch any dead thing. He was not supposed to consume alcohol. And then lastly, he was not supposed to cut his hair. It was a symbol of his dedication to God. And he, in the end, ended up doing all those things. And we did the last one. He told a Philistine woman who he had been going to for sexual pleasures. So in that, he's obviously going against the normal laws, the normal law of God anyway. But he told her about that his strength came from his hair, and then so she cut his hair off and called for the Philistines to come, and he tried to battle them as he had in the past, and he was, had taken out 1,000 men in one battle at one point, so he was a very supernaturally charged individual, and so when they came, they conquered him, but the scriptures referring to that, but he did not know that the Lord had departed from him. So that's it for today, guys. You guys take it easy, and I'll talk to you in the next video.